Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices for the 15th of June, starting with the DAX on the daily chart here. And we're going to look at two counts today. This count here, the reason we've got this count is because it's in line with the count that we have on the S&P 500. And what we are trying to discern is that will we have 5 waves down in this first leg? Because if we do get 5 waves down, then we'll get a corrective pattern and then another 5 waves down. Could it be more bearish than that, than this, and move further down? Possibly, but we'll look at that when we're in this particular leg here. And we'll also be looking to short this leg too. If we get 5 waves here, that will leave us with an ABC correction for this leg here. The other way to count this move up through here, if I just go to an intraday chart, is have it like this here, where we have wave 1 and 2 here. Let me just bring this into perspective here. Wave 5 waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for 1, ABC for 2 here, and then looking at this here in an impulse wave from wave 2 to wave 3 here, and looking at this as wave 4. That said, the market would need to stay in place here at the 38.2% retracement level. The wave 4 from one lesser degree is always is there as well. Normally when an extension is in a 5th wave, we'll see wave 4 pull back not to the bottom of the previous wave 4, but to the top of wave 3. So we are seeing that. We are seeing it stabilize here. It is possible for this to play out like this here. We would need to gather more evidence on that, and yeah, we'll see how we work with that. But just in the essence of working this particular trend to the downside here, let's just go in and have a look at that. So in a nutshell here, we can look at this as wave 1, 2, and 3 here, and 4 here, and coming down for wave 5 here. So there'll be, if it does move down, there'll definitely be a bounce off the 11,500, which is a medium level, halfway between two major levels, 10,000 and 13,000 in this case. And if that's the case, then this 5-wave structure here will see us as an A and a B and a C wave here. I can also count this a little bit differently in here, and I'll be looking at that next as well. From the hourly chart, we'll start to drill into the 15-minute chart. So not that, well, this is where if you went short here, we can bring the stop down to this high here now. And in fact, if that stop is breached here, then we can also go long from that point. So another way to look at that is that if we get support on 12,000, and the support would have to be tested support, so the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, an ABC pattern here, and then up. From there we can look to go in long around that, and that sort of thing there. So yeah, but apart from that, let's go to the tick chart where we can do a bit more of an accurate count in here. So I'll have to bring in more data for this. So from the top here, just assuming that's wave 1 up there, but 1 here, we've counted 5 waves down here, and wave 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here. So it counts a little bit differently in this instance here. So we've got wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then we start into our 3rd wave here. So from 2 here, we've got 5 waves in here for wave 3, 4, and then we've got 5 waves coming down here for 5 of 1, and that would leave this as a green wave 4. So I've had it as a blue wave 4, but when I counted this last time, this is where we were. So we were probably looking for somewhere in there. We're looking for that 38.2% retracement level, so kind of near enough in, and that's okay at that point. Now the thing here is that you could count this as 5 waves to the upside here, and in that case here, then this would count as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the A wave, then the B wave here and the C wave here. So the market can move up from here, but as long as that low here is not taken out at this stage, so it's still sitting there at the moment, so the market would have to move up. Otherwise, if this low here is breached, if we're going to move down here, then we'd have to look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here for 1 and back for 2, and this would be the third wave coming down here, and that would bring us down into the 11,500 area here. So you could go short below this low here. Now that we've had our open, the market will want to try and cover that gap on the squeeze, so just watch the volume to the upside. That should be on less volume. And yeah, so in a bit of a nutshell, if we get support on 12, then you know that we're going up further. If this low here is breached, then you know that will be our target area is down at 11,500 at that point. And I will go back over this, but as it stands at the moment, we could get that extra wave in here for this as well. So we'd still need to see 5 waves down for this. So that would look a little bit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it's got the beginnings of a little third wave, I'd guess. So this 5 waves, okay, wave 4 overlaps wave 1. I get that. So we'll just be mindful of that. Because that would probably just be wave 1 here. .8% retracement level, but it'll try and cover that gap, and then 3, 4, 5 here, because this wave 3 here should be a bit bigger than this one here. And that'll leave wave 4 and wave 5 of 3 down here, but just to the 11,500 is perfect. And then we could get a rally here and then another move down from that point there. So we'll see how that ties in with the Nasdaq as well at this stage. So sorry, just thinking and looking at other things. Yeah, so that's sort of where we are at the moment with this. So in a nutshell, and just to sort of recap all of this here, if I can just come back out to, what have we got on the 4-hour chart here? So I've got 2 counts for this in here. I have to go back over that. But in a nutshell, as you know, we're looking for 5 waves down here. And we're just looks like we've got 1, 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here. So we'll just run with that for the time being, and then we'll watch the bounce off here. But if we do get 5 waves down here, that means that we'll get a correction and we'll get another 5 waves. It's as simple as that. The only thing for the upside is that if that low currently stays in place here and doesn't take out that low and find support on here, then there's a possibility that we can look at this being completed here as an A and a B and a C at this stage here. But that low needs to stay in play there for that. Any breach of that, then you'll see the market move down to the 11,500, which is probably the case. The FTSE, if we can just take a look at that. The FTSE's got the same pattern as we mentioned last time. So we're looking for the FTSE here. We're looking down from the top here as wave 1 and wave 2 here, and looking at this as wave 3 here. Let's just check the 38.2% retracement level from this guy here, from there to there. So it's retraced 50% there. So that means that any move above here, I mean, if it had only been like 30%, then it would be different. But because it's 50% here, any move above that would turn the market bullish at that point there as well. It may not get very far. It may only get to the B wave here, but it would be a signal to go long. And in fact, we could actually just bring that down a little bit further too. So I will do that. So we could bring that down. We don't need this anymore. So we could actually bring that down to this high here. And, you know, it may not, you know, this, it may just bring us up to the 61.8% at that point too. So don't overdo it at this stage. So it may only bring us up into this box here at this stage. That would be your target area anyway. 6,300 would be the target area for that, or anything over 6.2 there. The other point here too is that the minor levels are 100, 200 and 300, and then of course the medium level here at 5. So if you're ambitious, you could use a classic trading levels pattern at trading level 1 here at minor level 1. So that's 6,100 if you've got a tested support on that. The tested support would need to look like the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, a corrective move here, and then up from that point. So you'd look at it like that at that point there. So I'll leave it at that, but otherwise, everything being equal, we should see this move down into this wave 5 here. It might come back up and retest and try and close a gap at 6.1, so make sure that you got good support in there, but otherwise we'll see a move down. And then what that will do, as I mentioned before, this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here, because we get 5 waves here, that means we'll get a corrective wave, and then we'll get another 5 waves. I'm not so much interested in this. We'll work through it and probably pick out a trade signal or two, but it's this one here that interests me the most. And, you know, if this one here, the A wave is normally quite sharp, the B wave the C wave here rather needs to be on more of an angle. If it's on an angle like that, then we know that we're on the right track. But if it's sharp like this for whatever reason, as sharp as wave A or sharper, then we know that we've got more of a bearish picture at that point. And either way, we need to have short positions in this space here, and also locked under here as well, adding to positions there. So we'll feed a few in here above the level. We may end up being up here anyway, but we need to work this because we just try and trade as much as the C wave as we can. But if it's a third wave down for a more bearish thing, which you've just got to be open-minded to, then we'll go with this one. We'll be on the right side at the right time. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.